Hello and welcome back to my channel, everybody. I feel like after like 15 videos I can say that and have it not like sound weird. So I am doing a pick a crystal for the full moon in Virgo tonight, and I have some talking I want to do a little bit beforehand. So if you want to skip all of that for right now, just figure out which of these crystals resonates with you. We have moonstone, and the timestamps will be in the description, so you can just go straight to that if you don't want to listen to me talk. Tiger's eye, it's blue tiger's eye. And fuschite. So if you want to skip all this stuff in the beginning, actually before you go, let me just pull the card for the main overarching theme of this read for everyone. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. And that is going to be strength. Okay, so main theme for everyone's read, just to keep in mind for the rest of this lunar cycle, is going to be strength. Now, whichever crystal resonates with you, the timestamp is going to be in the description. Feel free to jump ahead if you would like to do that. If not, I'm going to just chat a little bit and then we will get into the piles. So, I just recorded this video and the video was an hour and 45 minutes. And then I accidentally, immediately deleted it permanently. And if there's anything that says release of full moon to me, it is the overwhelming amount of emotion that I felt in that moment. I was very frustrated. I was being frustrated about other things that have been kind of going on in my life recently. And it just felt like a culmination of frustration. That is exactly what it was. And so once I realized that it was deleted, there was no way for me to recover it. I was going to have to film it all again. Not really sure if I'd have time, because I have other things I have to do today. And the video is almost 2 hours long. And also just 2 hours of wasted message, which is disappointing. But I took some time. My phone needed to charge. I took some time to kind of reflect, reframe how I was feeling about it, in very kind of like Pisces season kind of, vibe. Just try to view it from a better perspective where I wasn't being so upset. It's not really that big of a deal, but it just felt like a really big deal. And so I just needed a little time to process it. So, yeah, I just wanted to start this off by saying, in true me fashion, tried to record a video, and this time it did work. Recorded the whole video, and I just deleted it on accident. And that seems to be a common theme with my YouTube excursion. But it's a good practice. It's a good reminder. I think I needed that to remind myself to not let these things that like feel like a big deal be a big deal. Because if I treat them like a big deal, then they will be a big deal. But if I recognize that it's not as big of a deal as it feels, and I can kind of detach from it a little bit, then I can just be like, okay, it's really not that big of a deal. I can get over it. It's fine. Move on. I'll find a contingency plan. I also want to talk about the difference in energy that I feel between this full moon in Virgo, which is a snow moon. It is going to be the last full moon in this zodiac calendar and of the winter, I believe, and the last full moon, which was in Leo. And it's really that, for me personally, the Leo full moon, I felt very energized, very here I am, like just very loud and proud, I guess would be kind of a way to say it. And this full moon feels much more of like a quiet energy, a little bit more reserved. Not to say that that's any less important, just not so much out in the open, not so effervescent, not so look at me, much more kind of internalized energy, which really makes sense with it being Pisces season. But just like some interesting anecdotal things that I wanted to kind of share before I got into this read. Maybe it would resonate with somebody. But anyways, let's start. So first pile is going to be, make sure this doesn't go rolling away. We're going to have moonstone, pile number 1. I love moonstone. It's one of my favorite crystals. It's one of the first ones I was ever drawn to. So applicable for a full moon. Definitely will be sending this out tonight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, also I wanted to mention, if you didn't watch the beginning, I basically said I just filmed this video for 2 hours and then immediately permanently deleted it on accident, so we're doing it all again. This is a whole new read, all new cards, so whole new message than what it was before, so I'm excited to see what comes up. Who knows? Maybe I like to view these things as lessons for myself because I was very frustrated. And so I am interested to see what messages come out this time. So starting off, we have the universe. I pulled this last time. And the Empress. I love the Empress. We've got the Emperor in reverse. The Four of Swords. Judgment. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Swords in reverse. 9 of Cups. You can't go back to yesterday, be in the present. And message for a rabbit. Service to the animal world. Okay. Okay, so let's just start off with the top 2 cards. We got the Empress and the Universe. So I really like these pairing. The Empress really is like an archetypal mother of the tarot. She is traditionally seen as the partner to the Emperor, which you do also have in the reverse. And she is very nurturing. Fertility is another thing associated with her, being very well grounded. She is able to not only take care of all of her needs, but also everyone else's needs as well. And she's very confident and settled in the person that she is and in her abilities. So I really like this energy starting off. The universe, to me, is, to me, it just says, like, you have the world in your hands. If you turn it upside down, it's like the world's in the hands. And it looks to be a moon in front of the world, eclipsing the world, which I think is really cool, just since this is a full moon. I just really like that little addition on the card. And this is really just giving me a sense of you have a good sense of who you are and what you're trying to do right now. Whether that is in the context of relationships or family, or it could be in the context of your career, or it could be the context of maybe just some changes in yourself that you're trying to work on. You seem to have a good grasp, there's a hand on here, a good grasp of what it is that you are wanting to accomplish. She is also holding her hands in this opening, receptive manner. And there's an open bird cage at the top. So I do also get this idea of receptiveness, being open to something. Okay. Let's move down here. We have the Emperor in reverse, and we have the Four of Swords. So immediately I'm drawn to the Four of Swords here. It is over the Nine of Swords in reverse, which is an interesting pairing. Let's just look at these two together at the moment. I hope I'm not speaking too quickly. I feel like I'm kind of like, because I just did this for 2 hours, I feel like I'm in a pretty good groove with it. So I apologize if I'm speaking fast. But let's continue. So Four of Swords, I really like the Four of Swords. It's a very interesting card. It is talking about a time of reflection, a time of stepping back, and a time of intentional pause. And you have this intentional pause because you might be trying to go about a certain situation, and maybe you're trying to use one method of handling whatever it is that you're handling. And this Four of Swords is really saying, hey, I know that maybe it seems like it's working, but let's just take like a step back. let's take a breather. Let's view it from a more holistic perspective, a little less on the details, a little bit more on the big picture. And let's troubleshoot, is what we are doing the correct way we should be doing this? Okay? Because oftentimes things can seem to be that way, and this idea of seeming to be one way and really being another, I'm really getting this because this man, he is meditating. He could be meditating. He could also just not be alive. It's kind of hard to tell. And even though he's in a bed, I mean, obviously the meaning of the card is meditation, and withdrawal and pause. But this bed kind of gives me a coffin vibe, honestly. And he almost looks like a statue because he's all very similarly colored from his armor, but also his face and the fleshy parts of him are also the same color. It's giving me like bronze statue type of vibe or feeling. So, like maybe a monumental sarcophagus, monumental casket, um, because it's also, there is an opening underneath of it, like you could open and have someone's remains in there. So things can seem one way, but we can really take a step back and be like, if I look at this holistically, if I look at the big picture, if I really detach from these really minute details, which they're not unimportant, but maybe they're not serving us as accurately as we think they are because we have such a close view of them. We need to just step back a little bit. So you're in this time of feeling confident, of being receptive to something, but something clearly is also maybe not going how we want it to be going, because we do have the Emperor in reverse. The Emperor is the companion to the Empress. It is the male archetypal masculine energy, the paternal energy. He's very stable and secure, and he's courageous and kind of just everything that we would assume the archetypal masculine energy to be. So what I'm getting from this, because you do have both, is that you are out of balance with your energies internally. So we all have masculine and feminine energy. Everyone does. And it's varying degrees, and it can wane and wax as we go through times in our lives and situations and our just natural personalities and things that we're typically drawn to. So I think that you're really demonstrating like a really strong foundation in your really feminine energies, but I think that you are struggling in your more masculine energies. So how this is coming across to me is that you are having some needs that are not being met or not being seen, or something is not being fulfilled in the way that you need it to be fulfilled. It's unclear if it is a material thing or an emotion. It feels very mental. You do have swords. We'll see. We'll type that in the back of my mind. We'll come back to that as we keep going. Usually as I talk it out, things come out much easier. But I do believe you have an imbalance in your masculine and your feminine energies, and I think that you are not upholding a boundary is what I'm getting. You're not upholding a boundary in some area of your life, and it is causing a distress for you. 9 of Swords in reverse. You're having internal distress. You're getting very beat down, and you don't know what to do at this point, and you can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. This is really speaking to me with this 4 of Swords cards, because both of these are really talking about an intentional pause and an intentional reflection of your current situation. Let me emphasize that one more time. They are both talking about an intentional pause of your current situation. I believe we as people, now that I've become aware of this concept and I try and observe it not only in myself but in others, I believe that we as people have a very difficult time staying in the present moment. We often are stressed out by thoughts of things that have passed and we are worried of reliving them, or things that have yet to come and we are anxious that they will occur based on our past thoughts. It's, you know, it's a vicious cycle. Past, present, past, present, past, present. Or excuse me, scratch all that. Past, future, past, future. The present is being obsolete in this scenario because, like, let's say I'm sitting here and I'm doing this read, right? And maybe mentally I'm thinking about, I'm gonna go to I went to a painting thing the other day, and when I got there I got super anxious about it. Okay, so even before I went, as I'm sitting at home, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh man, I'm starting a little bit of anxiety about going to this thing that I don't know what it's going to be like. I've never been. I don't know anyone there. This is very outside my comfort zone. And that's why I'm doing it, because it is outside my comfort zone. But I'm feeling that. And not being present in that scenario would be, am I there right now as I'm talking to you? No. So why am I stressed about it right now? Right now, I'm sitting at this table talking to my phone for a video I'm going to post on YouTube. Like, why am I going to be stressed out when it's not actually affecting me? So that's really like living in the now versus living in the past or the present. And I really want to emphasize it because I do feel we as a society, as a culture, as an individual, are not good at it. And I don't believe it's so much of a incapability. I think it's partially that, but more so a lack of awareness. And so I'm trying to bring awareness to the fact that we need to be cognizant of the present moment and the current circumstances and the present and current outcomes of what we are doing. Are they working? Is it getting us where we're trying to go? I'm going to say probably not. I don't think we would have the Nine of Swords in reverse if it was. Okay? I don't think we would have the Four of Swords if it was. Because this is saying we need to pause. We need to take that step back. Because something is not working here. And you may not be aware of it. So now you're here, you're watching this video, and now it's saying, hey, something's not working. We need to be aware of it. Let's continue. On this side, we have got judgments. Love judgments. Judgment to me is very, in this deck, I often get it kind of confused with the lovers, interestingly enough, because the imagery is very similar. In the lovers, there's an angel, and then there are the two naked individuals on the bottom. And judgment is very kind of similar. There's an angel at the top, and then there are people who are being resurrected out of these caskets. Interesting with the casket, now that I say that, because this Four of Swords also reminded me of a casket. So that's an interesting parallel here. Let's work with that. Let's look at these two together. I feel like I'm in a groove. Okay, so Four of Swords, intentional pause. Ooh, I love the word intentional. It just gets me, you know. Intentional pause. Judgment. So a reckoning for our actions. Also could be, in this case, we ourselves, okay, yes, it is not a reckoning, it is not an outward reckoning of our actions. It is an internal judgment of, is this not only working in the direction I want it to be working, but also, is this in alignment with what I want to be known as, the characteristics that I want to show the world, show others, that I want to cultivate relationships with. So I think some of you just have something you need to change. Like I said, you have this imbalance between your masculine and your feminine energies. I think you're not standing up for yourselves. You're not upholding boundaries. You're being too passive. You're just leaning too far into the feminine. And let me just be very, very clear. There is nothing wrong with feminine energy. There is nothing wrong with masculine energy. Everyone has both. It's maintaining the suitable balance that everything in life has to have. Too much of anything is bad. Too much water is bad. Too much sunlight is bad. Too much oxygen in air content is bad. It's all about a balance. So I don't like the stigma that masculine and feminine energies seem to get. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking. So I just want to be very clear in that. Let's continue over here as I'm getting off on tangents. We have the Nine of Cups. This is emotional fulfillment, internal emotional fulfillment. This is good. Service to the animal world. Service to the animal world. Messages for a rabbit. So even though I do know this card is speaking about animals, and maybe you have an animal that is very special to you. I have a dog. She's very special to me. She shows up in a lot of my videos. Some of you might have that, but this is really giving me more of a connect with nature type of feeling, a grounding, if you will. Maybe you don't really like nature. If you don't, I'm sorry, you're really missing out. Nature is amazing. But if you're not really a nature person, I'm viewing this really as just grounding and centering and not letting, yeah, absolutely, because we're the Empress, right? And the Empress is grounded, but also we don't want to let too much that feminine energy out where we're not keeping it harnessed in balance with that masculine. And if our masculine is waning, if our scales are tipping too much in the feminine direction, then that emotional receptiveness might start to get out of control and out of hand. And now we're maybe getting a little too deep in some of these emotions that are very tumultuous, and maybe they're causing us some difficulties. So stay grounded. Don't let your emotions dictate you. Remember, you are in control of your emotions. We also have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Ten of Pentacles is success, prosperity. You know, you sowed the seeds of the pentacles and you went through this harvest, and it was kind of like iffy for a little bit, but you worked really hard. And now not only do you have this ability to sustain yourself, but the ability to help sustain others. And in the reverse, what this is telling me is maybe one of those two is also out of balance. So either you're giving too much to other people or you are not having enough for yourself, or you are keeping too much for yourself and then are unable. Let me rephrase that. I don't like how that comes out. It sounds like it's an intentional withholding, and it is not. It is that you have enough to fulfill your needs, but you do not have enough to fulfill the needs of others at this time. And that's okay. This is a very important concept to be able to recognize, because if we can recognize this, it's something that we can share with others and be like, hey, I understand that maybe you are needing to confide in me right now, but I am at an emotional limit where I cannot at this time handle this. Can we please maybe revisit this conversation when I'm a little bit more emotionally balanced, or however you want to phrase it? Not an easy conversation to have. I'm just throwing that out there. But it is a very mature one to have if you are unable to handle the feelings of someone else, because then you have your feelings to process, but also their feelings. And now you're interconnecting the two, and it could be unpleasant if one of you is not in the place to handle that. I know because I've been through it before. I do understand the ramifications of that. So just a word of caution. Once again, stay grounded, like, important message here. And let's not forget too, the strength is this overarching theme. This to me is like almost a literal strength for you, because we do have this Emperor in reverse, and he is the archetypal paternal figure in the tarot, the dad, if you will. And masculine energy is typically associated with strength. Now, obviously more of a physical strength, but I still am feeling like this is like a boundary type of issue. And something is providing resistance, and it's uncomfortable for you. And because it's uncomfortable, instead of, resisting back, you are kind of folding. And so you need to have the strength to resist back, to say, this is my boundary. I'm not budging, and be firm in that. Okay. So that is an overall message for you, pile number 1, moonstone. Please let me know if any of that resonated with you. If you feel like it didn't, feel free to stick around for some of the other piles if you would like, or join me in a different video. It's up to you. It's really a choose your own adventure in every way possible. So, pile number 2. I hope you guys can see. It's kind of gotten dark in here, but I'm really pale and this light washes me out, so we're just doing our best. Pile number 2 is Tiger's Eye, and it's a blue Tiger's Eye. Probably can't see, it's too dark now, but it is a really pretty stone. I've never seen blue Tiger's Eye. It's gorgeous. So let's see what cards we have. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Okay. Withdraw. With withdrawal, we have the 9 of Cups in reverse, the 4 of Cups, the Star in reverse, 3 of Cups, a lot of cups going on here, 4 of Wands in reverse, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the Sun in reverse, Nature, Communication, Flower Energies, Fairy Energies, Elemental Messengers. Changed in the Night. You have changed quickly. All right, pile number 2. Let's see what we have in store for you. Also, just a reminder, if you just skipped here, that strength is the overarching theme for all the reads in this video today. So just keep that in mind as we go through it. So let's talk about these first 2 cards. We have got Withdraw, definitely giving Hermit energy, possibly even like a 4 of Swords energy, which I did have in the last pile. And we have the 9 of Cups, so in the reverse. So this is really telling me that you're not living in alignment with yourself right now. Also, an interesting thing that I just noticed is this card in reverse looks strikingly similar to this Ace of Pentacles in reverse as well. Both these like yellow big discs with a hand reaching out to it. That's just an interesting little parallel. We'll revisit that here in a bit, but you're not, your actions are not a accurate reflection of who you want to be. You're doing things that are not in alignment with who you truly are, where your morals lie, and it's causing some issues. You have the Star in reverse, and the Star is the Star, and it is hope, it is positivity, it is faith. It is the time after the Tower where we have broken down these old structures, these old ways of being, these old methodologies, ideologies, ways of thinking, indoctrination. Maybe they were self-imposed limitations for whatever reason. We've done away with those. We've rebuilt, and now we have the Star. And the Star is just this positive effect of going through that difficult time and coming through at the other side with this like really awesome, like just positive feeling. Kind of like a Wheel of Fortune vibe, you know? The Tower really gives that kind of rebirth cycle type of feeling like the Wheel of Fortune does as well. So I feel that you're not in alignment because not only do we have the Star in reverse, so there's something that is causing you not to have this faith. You also have the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is about disappointment and also focusing on the wrong thing, in my opinion, is how I like to read this. And if you just looked up, you have this cup behind you. I always read it as the Ace of Cups because the Ace of Cups is this exact same image. So that to me means you could have this opportunity presenting itself to you, and you're just so busy staring at this disappointment, focusing on this disappointment, focusing on this thing that didn't happen, this thing that you thought you wanted. You thought you wanted it. You don't want it. If you wanted it, you would be in alignment. And I think truly deep down you know that you don't want it, and that is why you have the Star in reverse. It's reminding you that wasn't what you wanted. It wasn't the job that you wanted. It wasn't the love connection that you wanted. It wasn't the career that you wanted. It wasn't the outcome that you wanted. It felt like it. It feels cups. It feels emotions. Like that's what you wanted, but it wasn't. Because things just feel off. You don't feel right. And it's not something that you can really it's not really something you can describe. It's like a feeling of just like a knowing, an unease, a something. I just feel off. I don't know what it is, but I just feel off. So there's something that you wanted that you didn't get, and you thought you wanted it, but you need to let go of that. And until you can let go of that, I don't think you're going to be able to bring anything new into this space, because the space is full right now. So let's say, let's look at it as a cup. So let's say we have this cup, and this cup is full of water. And actually, let's take that back. This cup is full of wine, okay? This cup is full of wine. I don't want wine because I don't like to drink alcohol. And I would prefer to have something like water. Well, I can't put water in this cup until the wine is out of it, okay? So once again, this is for the full moon. Full moon is about releasing, okay? And the full moon in Virgo, in Pisces season, to me is really taking a close look at these things in our lives that are no longer in line with who we want to be, who we are becoming, who we are already, because all three of those are a singular state of being. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But all of those are a singular state of being. And if it is not in alignment with those, I'm doing a lot of talking with my hands, but if it's not in alignment with those, then we can't expect to be doing things that are in alignment, because that space is being taken up. And Pisces is about ascension. It is spirituality. It is the culmination of all the zodiac signs at the end of the cycle. And so we need to have this very deliberate viewing of what we're doing. Weird that I just made this symbol unintentionally. This is the exact same symbol that the Hierophant makes. That's strange. I've never done that. I don't even know how I recognized that I did that. Weird. That was interesting. Sorry, it just like really caught me off guard. Let me get back to my train of thought. So you are not making the space for these things that you want to cultivate, bring into the world. Let's see here. Fairy energies, elemental messengers, flower energies. To me, this is really saying like quiet down, because like a flower energy, it's gonna be quiet. Also in Alice in Wonderland, she does not expect the flowers to be able to talk, and the flowers don't really expect her to be able to talk, and it's just a very surprising interaction for all involved. So that's also telling me to keep an open mind. Also with the Four of Cups, open mind. Don't miss possible opportunity, and don't block yourself from the opportunity either, because you're just so focused on whatever it is that did not work out for you. It's okay that it didn't work out. When things don't work out for us, it's for a reason, it's for a purpose, and you have to have faith that it was for a reason, and not be so what the word that came to mind is not one that I want to use. What is the word that I'm trying to use here? I can't think of one other than the word that I don't want to say on the video. But you're feeling some type of way about this thing not working out. You're feeling some feels about it, and they're not exactly the most positive feelings. And so don't feel like victimized. Also not the word that I wanted, but it's as close as I'm going to get right now. Don't feel victimized because this thing didn't happen. Things don't happen for people all the time. It's usually for something better. You know, the old saying, like, one door closes so another door can open, or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean. Let's go over to this other side as well. Three of Cups, Four of Wands in reverse. Interesting pairing, in my opinion. Four of Wands is a gathering. This card like really means like get-togethers, celebrations, weddings, anniversaries, public gatherings of just like gleefulness. I don't know why that's the word that came to mind. I don't even know if that's a real word, but that is the word that came to my mind. Being very gleeful, very happy, and sharing it in this context of community. So you also have the Three of Cups, though, in the upright, which also kind of gives me a very similar feeling, but it does feel more emotional, more of a emotional coming together, giving of one another. Also, I do get an idea of grounding with this card because they, chalices are the cups, or excuse me, chalices are the suit of emotion. And one thing with emotions, you also have the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Four of Cups. Like, you have a lot of cups. So what's important here is this aspect of grounding, which I'm really getting from this Three of Cups card, because you have pumpkins on the bottom. I've never noticed that until when I was filming this earlier. If you didn't watch the beginning, I filmed this video for 2 hours immediately preceding this, and then immediately permanently deleted it on accident. And so I had to do some releasing of some feelings because I was very frustrated. But it's okay, we're back. We're giving an even better message is how I choose to look at it. So, but I noticed these pumpkins, and the pumpkins also have like a vine work. And there's also some vine work fruits. Oh, actually, both of these have grapes in them too. Okay, that's interesting. With grapes, I'm thinking wine. With wine, I'm thinking offering. So maybe offering means something to you. I think also it is a offering of your emotional vulnerability. Yeah. I think that you, either with someone else or even to yourself, need to have a little bit more emotional vulnerability, some real honesty about what's going on internally, because like I said, we're not in alignment, right? We're not in alignment. We need to take some time to withdraw, to think about what's no longer serving us. Maybe we're coming into this new state of being, this new spiritual awakening, and we need to relearn ourselves. We need to relearn what's important to us, how we can conduct ourselves, what is no longer a pattern of action, because we're different people. We have a new set of rules, a new SOP, if you will, a standard operating procedure to live by. So we have to revise it as we change, right? So you need to have this conversation with yourself. You need to figure out what needs to be revised, because until you do that, until you get internally in alignment with everything, this new state of being or this progress, it's okay if you're not there yet. I'm not expecting anyone to be there yet, unless you're like, I don't know, maybe you expect you to be there because you've been on this journey for so long. But whatever it is, you need to revise as you go. It's okay that you're not at the end. We can always make little adjustments. And really, that's the best way to do it, actually, because when we need to make changes in our lives, and I can speak on this from the perspective of being a fitness coach. So when people want to make this drastic change in their life, they want to change their nutrition, they want to change their working out, they want to change their activity level, stress levels, all the things that need to be changed. And one of the biggest tips I give people is pick one or two things and focus on those. Don't try and do everything at one time, because that's overwhelming. It's a lot. And more than likely, it's not going to happen. Then you're frustrated. Then you quit. Then you're having this repetitive cycle of I'm a failure. I can't do this, right? Pick on a couple things, one or two. Master them. Pick another thing. Master it, just little by little. So that's what I'm saying to do here. Little by little, make these changes, make these little adjustments on, normally I would do this in this situation. but I don't feel like that serves the purpose that I want to have. So instead, I'm going to do this. And even talking it out like that, writing it out, is not a bad idea. It's a good way to be aware of not only your habits as they are, but the habits that you want to embody or that you want to cultivate and grow. Because the thing is, changing habits is very, very challenging. Especially the longer we've had the habit, the harder it's probably going to be to break. So if we are able to identify these things in such a conscientious way where we can write it out and write out how we are going to solve it, then we're much more likely to be able to do that in the moment, because we can identify it. If we can't identify it, we don't know that we need to fix it because we are unaware that there's anything to fix. So totally long tangent, but also I just realized how much that ties in with this oracle card that I wasn't even paying attention to. How much you've changed in the night. You have changed quickly. This is just, once again, saying like you are going through this change. You are needing to perfect this alignment that you're working on. It's just not there yet. And that's okay. Like I said, that's okay. But you need to make these changes as you go, and you need to be just very aware and cognizant of the moment. So the sun in reverse, don't get frustrated. It is challenging. It's Pisces season. Like, it wouldn't be Pisces season if it were easy. And it's gonna take some time. It may not be something that you are able to accomplish the rest of this lunar cycle, the rest of Pisces season. You may be working on it throughout the rest of 2024. But that's okay. It's okay to take the time that you need, as long as you are still trying to move in this forward direction with these changes. So once again, strength being the overarching message here. To me, for you guys, this is really talking about this internal strength. I know it's challenging, but you freaking got it. Spirit has your back, and just know that you are capable of anything that you put your mind to, okay? The star is still the star. The sun is still the sun. You have both of like the most positive cards in the tarot, in the major arcana, in your spread. It doesn't matter if they're upright, upside down, sideways, backwards, flipped over. It doesn't matter, okay? They're still there. That energy is still there. Positive energy. You guys got this, okay? Just be honest with yourself. Do some reflecting. Have some honest discussions with yourself. It's probably not going to be easy, but I believe in you, and Spirit believes in you. So thank you for being here today. Let's continue on to the last pile. We're going to make it, guys. I swear. I'm going to make it. After just what a stressful event this has been. But you know, that seems to be every video these days, so not surprising. All right, pile number 3, we have fuschite. I love fuschite. I was gifted this, so it holds an extra special place in my heart by someone who is very special to me. So love fuschite. What do we have for pile number 3? We have got Paradox. I've never pulled this card. I've never even seen this card. Interesting. I don't know if I have the booklet over here. I'm not sure where it's at, actually. I wanted to read that one. Queen of Pentacles. Sun in reverse. Interesting. I had Sun in reverse in the last one, too. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. The Fool. Holy crap. Okay. So, Sun in reverse, Wheel of Fortune, Fool, Devil in reverse. That's a lot of big energy. What else do we have? The Tower. Holy crap. Queen of Wands. Goodness. Who in the world are you? Falling. Ooh, okay. Wow, guys. This pile is intense. I don't even know where to start for this one. Holy cow. I'm just like, I'll start in the same place to start for all the rest of them, but this middle row is just like screaming. So, pile number 3, fuschite. We have Paradox and Queen of Pentacles. I want to see, I do actually want to get the book for this. I wanted to get the book. I've never pulled this card. I've never even like seen it. So I want to just quickly read what it is. It's on page 103. I don't know if 103 has any significance to anyone. For also 1 + 0 + 3 = 4. Stability. Okay, Paradox. This card is a reminder that we can hold two extremes at the same time. Holy cow, we have it right above the Wheel of Fortune too. That is crazy. Whew. Sometimes we focus on things, whether internal or external, and see them as one-sided, but to hold the paradox within us requires strength. To see our most brilliant qualities and our most ugly, to acknowledge that they both live within us, is a gateway to growth. Whew, Tower energy, Devil energy. Wow, guys, this one is crazy. Carl Jung said, the paradox is one of our most valuable spiritual possessions, and for anyone who does shadow work, they know this to be true. But this can also be difficult for many people. If we have been raised in a rigid environment where things are viewed as black and white, it may be hard for us to accept our flaws, let alone love them. Ooh, love that. Okay. One of the best ways to slowly enter a relationship with our internal paradox is to remind ourselves that we did not create these things within us. We inherited them. It does not define us. Oh man, Tower energy, if I've ever heard it. And yet we are responsible for it. To work more deeply with paradox as you witness yourself throughout the day, identify what types of thoughts you have more of, positive or negative. From there, find the polar extreme. For example, maybe you thought, I am so fucking lazy. Acknowledge a couple things that makes that true. Then find the polar opposite, i.e. hardworking, and acknowledge a few things or experiences that prove that you are hardworking. Wow, guys, what a cool freaking card. And in this spread, mind blown. This is so interesting. No offense to any of the other piles. This one is just like, I don't know. There's just something different going on in this energy. So if you picked fuschite, and if, you know what's really kind of interesting too is when I did this before, Moonstone and Tiger's Eye, the first time I did this recording, had kind of a very similar energy to their readings. Now I'm totally redoing the reading, totally different messages too. But once again, fuschite had this just like totally separate on its own message in the last reading, and it definitely getting something just different about your guys's in this reading too. It's just, this one is very intense. This feels like, honestly, I'm getting like soul purpose type of work in this. Lots of talk about shadow work, and also this idea of contrast, which we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Tower, and we have the Devil. We have, this is not the final card, but it's close, the Sun, and we have the Fool. Your other two tarot cards are the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. So those are both also like big energy cards in my opinion here. So there is a lot going on here. Okay, so usually when I see Wheel of Fortune, I think cycles. Definitely Tower, I think cycles. Devil, very much a letting go of something that no longer serves us. Usually very self-imposed. But I'm getting this different energy and vibe. Your guys' Queen of Pentacles, it's not the same shape exactly, but it's really like mimicking this image, this paradox. And so I'm kind of viewing it like she is, what is she doing? She is like unbothered. She's focusing on some sort of magic that she's doing into the ground, and something is being birthed. Very indicative of Pentacles, you know, planting a seed, sowing something, and then it coming to fruition. It's, you know, flowering and blooming, and then fruit or a vegetable comes out from that. So To me, what this is saying is this idea of shadow work and polar opposites, and this acceptance of, yes, I have A, but yes, I also have B, and they can be congruent with one another, is something that you need to have a deep sense of acceptance about. It is overarching what you're doing, what you're accomplishing. Queen of Pentacles, she is abundance. She has everything she needs, and she is able to also give that to others and nurture them and take care of them in this very kind of like maternal way. She is very much so, in my opinion, similar to the Empress in the major arcana. She is kind of like the minor arcana version, in my opinion. She also is very grounded. I mean, Pentacles, they are a grounded type of suit in the tarot. So this deep acceptance of these polar opposites in your personality, in your spirit. I don't think personality is the right word. It's not morals either. I'm going to say spirit. In your spirit, in your state of being, it is what makes you unique. It is what helps you view situations from a higher perspective. It's above her. It's over her. It's looking down on her. It's a higher perspective. So this is really advantageous for you. But what do we need to like let go of? You know, full moons are about releasing things. So let's kind of like dive into this just a little bit more. Actually, I'm getting an immediate response is self-doubt. Devil in reverse, self-limiting beliefs, self-imposed beliefs, running through the same course of thinking that we were taught at one point in our life by either someone else or we retained it from someone else. Because I think oftentimes something we do, not everybody, but especially empathic people, and this is something I'm really realizing about myself, is we will observe an action in someone else, and then we internalize that and make it our own. It's not even something they gave to us. It's just something we observed and decided to take. And I don't know why that's something that we do. When, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe no one else does it, but I definitely, I can give examples of myself doing this. And oftentimes because we don't recognize that we've done that, and it's kind of hard to be able to do that because there's nothing triggering our mind going like, well, they didn't tell us that, because it's not being brought up. It's a very passive form of gaining these methods of thinking that are not positive to us, and also just like not how we think. Very, very passive. So it's not like ringing any alarm bells. There's no like, you know, siren going off like, ooh, I don't know, like this seems sketchy. No, it's sliding under the radar. It's very smooth. It's very quiet. It's very sneaky. So we're not noticing it, and then now it's just become a part of us. So you have this self-limiting belief. You need to let it go. That's what you guys need to release. Like, this is such big energy. Pile number 3, fuschite. Like, you guys have some major stuff to be doing. Yeah, major stuff to be doing. And right now, you are standing in your own way. You have this falling oracle card, the unknown, descent, momentum, change. There you go. You're standing in your own way because you are afraid. You are afraid of whatever it is that is coming. And something is coming. And I know that because you have not only the Fool, but also the Wheel of Fortune, 10 and 0 in the middle as well, okay? Something is coming. It is inevitable. You're going to have to lose something in order to progress, including these self-limiting beliefs. And once you're able to do that, you're going to be able, you're feeling a little stuck. I think you feel, I think you recognize or acknowledge that there is something that you need to do, but you're feeling confused. You're feeling unaware of how to proceed from here. So One is to accept that things are changing. I think there is a little bit of reluctancy here in order for these things to be happening, because we do have a lot of like really competing big energies. And they're not like bad or good or anything like that. It's just a lot. It's just big energies. It's too many people competing for the microphone, you know. If everyone's talking over everyone, you don't hear anybody. So it's kind of like the feeling I'm getting with this. And I think this Queen of Wands is also alluding to that just chaos of energy, not being in control of it. And yes, I'm definitely getting that. Like you're not in control of all these things that are happening. So a reminder to ground yourself. Be grounded. Don't let your emotions and your feelings overcome you. And I know that that's challenging because you're living on these two kind of like polar opposite ends of them and acknowledging them. So you're having like the light with the dark. So it's a delicate balance. And it would be easy to tip in the either direction. And I also get delicate balance because we have the sun in reverse, but we have the Fool in the upright. Sun's down here, sun's up here. Balance, you know, as above, so below. And to reiterate that, Wheel of Fortune, okay? To reiterate that, paradox, okay? So, lots of competing energy. Slow down. Accept that things are changing. And also, who in the world are you? Getting to know the new you. So, obviously, things are changing because both of these are talking about change. And this is telling you that you need to spend some time getting to know these new iterations of yourself. And it's important to note that this may not be your quote unquote final form. It could just be a stepping stone. But there's nothing wrong with making assessments and changes and improvements along the way. You don't have to wait till the end. It's okay to do it as you go. And if you do it as you go and you realize you've made a mistake, well, cool. Now we've had a learning opportunity, which is exactly what the Tower is telling us. Then we recognize, hey, I did XYZ. It didn't work out like I thought it would. Okay, cool. We can acknowledge it. Let's not be in denial that it didn't work out. We can say, that did not serve me. I'm going to get rid of it. And then we can start fresh with something new, okay? You don't have to be a slave. Hello, people in chains. Like, it literally looks like slavery. I hope that was not insensitive. I'm just reflecting on what I said. If I was insensitive to anyone, I apologize. And if it wasn't to you, then it wasn't. But just in case someone felt some type of way about that, I just feel like someone might have. I apologize in my immediate acknowledgement of that. So these people have chains around their neck. They are chained to here. They are like prisoners. So don't be, I'm going to use the word prisoner. Don't be a prisoner to this way of thinking. Understand it's okay to recognize that something didn't work out and that you need to do something differently. And you are going to make mistakes along the way because nobody is perfect. And I also get that idea with paradox, like, you know, the ups and the downs, Wheel of Fortune, ups and the downs. Like, you're going to have the ups and the downs. But I really feel, pile number 3, like something important is coming your way. You guys have an important role to play in something. There's just a lot of just like really, really big energy. Also, she's holding an egg. And inside this egg, I think are like little, I don't really know what they are, but they look like little pomegranate seeds. And only one of them is gold. So that also is kind of giving me like chosen one energy. And I, that sounds so like auspicious, like, oh, chosen one. I don't mean it quite that intensely. More so that you are being called to raise to a higher level of being. and it is your choice whether you accept that or not. You know, Tower, I mean, all these cards are really indicative of that option for you. And, you know, you're being asked to do it. So the spirit is trying to guide you to say yes, to say, I will go on this journey. Fool, hello. I will go on this journey. But there are some people that probably won't. They get stuck. They get stuck. But the wheel always turns, okay? So even if you get stuck, that doesn't mean it's over for you. Don't reflect back later and be like, oh my God, I wish I would have done X, Y, Z, and I didn't, and now I'm just beating myself up over it. You always have the decision to turn it around. So let that be the message here. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you have subscribed to my channel already, thank you so much. I have reached 100 subscribers, which I know is nothing crazy, but I am so grateful of it. I have no idea what I'm doing with YouTube. I don't even like talking on camera, but I just feel so called to do this, and I love doing this so much. And I hope that it just resonates with someone out there today. So happy full moon, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.